Okay. What is your name and what do you teach here at Springford?
My name is Mr. Rogers, and I teach American Government and U.S. History too, in 10th and 11th grade.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Northeast Philadelphia.
What did you enjoy doing when you were a kid there?
When I was a kid, I played a lot of sports, stickball, baseball, and touch football, stuff like that.
So where did you go to high school at?
I went to high school at Archbishop Bryan High School in Northeast Philadelphia.
And what activities were you involved in there?
I played baseball and football for 4 years.
Where did you go to college and what did you major in?
I went to college at Ursinus, and I majored in history, and my minor was education.
What inspired you to teach history?
I wanted to teach history because I'm interested in people and the things they do, and I think it's important for people to understand where we've come from and where we're at the present time.
What made you want to teach at Springford?
I student taught here 2 years ago in the fall, and I loved it here. I love the faculty, the students, and all the staff, and I just wanted to come back and start my career here.
You coach baseball at Ursinus now. Do you plan on ever coaching at Springford?
Yes, I do. I'd be interested in coaching baseball. This opportunity at Ursinus popped up recently, so that was the first thing that came my way, and so I took that.
Thank you.
Cool. I think you won.
Is that all right?
Describe your job here at Springford.
I'm here to assist and provide resources to students and parents as they make their decisions regarding their futures.
What got you interested in helping high school students?
Before coming to Springford, I worked in higher education, and just from working with those students, a lot of them were unsure and had a lot of questions before getting there, and with my experience, I just felt that I would be beneficial to high school students.
Where did you go to college, and why did you choose those schools?
For my undergraduate studies, I went to West Virginia University. I decided to go there because I went in undecided, and they had all the majors that I was interested in. Plus, it was far enough away from home and a bigger school, which I was looking for. And my graduate program, I did at Alvernia College.
What are your favorite things to do on the weekends?
Catch up on sleep, relax, spend time with family and friends, and go to the beach during the summertime.
Where do you see yourself in the future?
Still working with high school students and helping them to make decisions on their future, and hopefully be married and have a family of my own.
Thank you. Describe your job here at Springford.
Where did you grow up at?
I'm from Lawrenceville, New Jersey, which is about an hour away from here.
What was it like?
Well, pretty typical suburban school district, pretty suburban town. Nothing really different from here.
Where did you go to college?
I went to Bucknell University in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. That's about smack in the middle of the state. It's a small liberal arts school.
What did you major in?
I majored in English literature and got my bachelor's degree in English.
What was your inspiration for being an English teacher?
Well, I had lots of inspirations, but if I had to pick one, I would probably say the movie Dead Poets Society. Robin Williams' character as the English teacher inspiring all the students to love English and especially poetry. That was probably my biggest inspiration.
While you are not at school, what do you like to do?
Lots of things. I love going to the movies, I love renting movies, and I love shopping.
What kind of movies?
I'm a big fan of classic movies. I'm trying to watch all the top 100 AFI movies, so classic movies.
Have you ever engaged in hand-to-hand combat with a bear?
Not yet.
I understand that you were born in India. What was your childhood like growing up in New Delhi?
New Delhi was more of a city atmosphere, so it was, great fun. My childhood revolved around going to school and home, and the most fond memories I have are the festivals that we celebrated as family, as community, like the Festival of Lights, where we got to do have firecrackers, and Festival of Holi, where we dealing with colors. So I had great fond memories of growing up back in India.
How would you describe your Colchagate experience?
Stuff.
Okay, do you want to say college experience?
Yeah.
Your college experience, all right, fine. Okay. I understand that you were born in India. What was your childhood like growing up in New Delhi?
New Delhi was more of a city atmosphere, so it was like living in a big city, and it revolved more around school and home life. The most I remember, the fond memories that I have are of the festivals of India that we like celebrated, like Diwali and Holi. Holi, which is like a festival of color, where we got to throw color at each other and water balloons. And Diwali was with the firecrackers. So those are some of the memories that I have of my childhood.
How would you describe your experience in college?
College was more like an extension of high school, and it was very demanding and taxing work.
Did you ever have a different career prior to becoming a teacher?
Yes, I was an electronics engineer, and I used to design PCBs. Those are the printed circuit boards for the computers. And I worked in not only in India, but also in Hong Kong and New Jersey.
How did you decide to become an electronic engineer?
I was always interested in science and math, and when I was studying it at that time, India was going through a boom in technology sector, so I thought it was a promising career.
What are some of your favorite hobbies?
I like traveling and hiking and relaxing with a book.
If possible, how would you sum yourself up in one word?
I always like learning new things. I would say inquisitive or enthusiastic.
Thanks for your time today. Enjoy the rest of your year.
Thank you.
Okay.
I went to Pennsylvania State University and Westchester University.
What was your major?
My major at Penn State was secondary education, social studies, and at Westchester I received a degree in higher education counseling plus my secondary school certification.
How far did you go in your college career?
I completed my master's degree in August of 2005.
Have you always lived in this area?
No, I have not. I actually grew up in Connecticut, and then after going to Penn State, I lived in Maryland for a year, and then for the past 5 years, I've basically been in the Philadelphia region.
What inspired you to be a guidance counselor?
I think it happened during my year of teaching. I really enjoyed the time I had with my students, especially during detention, and talking to them one-on-one and finding out what their goals and what they wanted to do with their life, and I really had a passion for it, and I decided I wanted to be a guidance counselor.
How long have you been a guidance counselor?
I've been a guidance counselor for just about a year, a little less than a year, but getting close.
What other jobs have you had?
I have been a teacher. I've worked in childcare in a before and after school program, and I've done some other odds and end jobs when I was younger. I worked at Party City once. I actually was a telemarketer, so I've done a lot of stuff.
If you weren't a guidance counselor, what would you be?
Well, I really like being a guidance counselor, but if I wasn't a guidance counselor, I probably really have a dream, would love to be a general manager of a sports team. I think that would be really good to play with money and all that kind of stuff.
What hobbies do you have?
My hobbies include Penn State football. I'm a very avid Penn State fan, and I also enjoy playing golf and other sports.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Tell me about where you went to.
Our next teacher is Mrs. McGuigan, who teaches learning support here at Springford High School. I understand that you graduated from Westchester University. What did you major in, and what was the most enjoyable part of your time there?
I majored in special education, and the most enjoyable time that I had there was when I helped students who were physically challenged through a day camp in the summer.
What inspired you to be a teacher, and why did you choose the Springford School District?
I decided to become a teacher. I worked as a secretary for a while, and I decided that I wanted to more directly impact students' lives. So I started as a per diem sub at Springford, and then I did some long-term sub positions, and then I became full-time.
Being an English teacher here at the Learning Support Department, what do you feel is the most rewarding part of your job?
I think the most rewarding part of my job is being able to help students overcome their difficulties and their challenges, and then especially when you have 12th graders, watching them graduate.
If you were not a teacher, what would your dream job be and why?
I think my dream job would be a scuba dive instructor. I did some scuba diving with my husband when we went on vacation, and we decided to become certified, and we really enjoyed it.
Growing up with a younger brother and sister, How would you say the relationship of your two kids differs from the relationship you had with your siblings?
Well, I have a younger brother, and we were a little closer in age. However, my son is about 5 to 6 years older than my daughter, so I kind of expect him to take care of my daughter a little bit more, especially now that I'm working full-time.
What is one thing you would like the students here at Springford to know about you?
I think I'd just like them to know that I am new here, but I'm hoping to be here for a while, and I'm hoping that I can help students achieve and succeed.
Thank you.
Where did you grow up?
I was born in Pittsburgh. When I was around 10 years old, we moved to the Philadelphia area, and I grew up in a town called Hatboro.
What activities were you involved in while attending Upper Moreland High School?
I was a swimmer, a cheerleader, student council. I was pretty involved in school.
What did you do after high school?
I went to Shippensburg to major in accounting originally, and eventually changed over to math, computer science major.
Did you intend to major in education?
In high school, I had really wanted to become a teacher, but I was sort of talked out of it. So I didn't at that time. It was only later that I decided that I wanted to be a teacher and went back to school and got my certification.
What made you want to become a teacher?
It started in my later years when I was helping my stepdaughter with her high school math. It just sort of fired up my passion for math again.
So you know you're married. Do you have any kids?
I do. I have a son who's 8 years old. His name is Anthony. And I have a stepdaughter who's in her 3rd year at Kutztown.
What kinds of interesting hobbies do you and your family share?
Well, I asked that question at the dinner table last night, and my son picked our trips to Hawk Mountain and our summer vacations up in the Poconos. His favorite thing to do is find that perfect stick to carry around all day.
Thank you.
Where did you attend college?
For my undergraduate studies, I went to Lancaster Bible College, where I earned a bachelor's degree. And then for my graduate studies, I went to Philadelphia Biblical University and earned a master's degree. And then I attended some other schools to pick up some coursework and a certification at Rosemont College as well.
What did you do after college?
After college, I was involved in teaching all my years since then, but my wife and I and our family went to Madrid, Spain, where I worked and lived for 7 years. And then we came back to the United States in 1991, and I've been involved in teaching since then.
Did living in Spain influence your decision to teach Spanish?
Yes, very much so. By living in the culture, using the language, I wanted to use that in my teaching. I've taught other things, but I enjoy teaching Spanish. And so I teach at high school, and I've taught junior high and elementary and adults as well. So I love to teach Spanish and share that with my students.
What inspired you to teach?
Since my college years, undergrad studies, I've sensed that I have the gifts and abilities to teach. And I enjoy teaching. It brings great fulfillment. And I love to share with my students, and hopefully they'll catch some of the enthusiasm for Spanish.
What do you like to do in your spare time?
In my spare time, which I don't have a lot of, I actually enjoy my work. I teach here as well as some college classes, and so that's what I do with most of my time. But if I'm not doing that, I enjoy riding my motorcycle, maybe using the computer to do some activities. So I'm not really a game person with computers, but I enjoy using the computer. I enjoy riding my motorcycle, spending time with Mrs. Rainier, who's my best friend, and I enjoy doing some volunteer work for my church.
How do you like Springford so far?
So far, it's great. It's very challenging. I enjoy that my colleagues are great, very helpful. Students are interesting and challenging, and I get to know a number of the students because I'm traveling between the 9th grade center and the 10th to 12th grade center as well.
Thank you, and have a great year.
Thank you. You too.
Or Miss?
I go by Miss Stark.
Are you married?
No, I am not married. I was for 10 years, but now I'm divorced.
Do you have any kids?
I have 2 girls, ages 8 and 11. My 11-year-old is named Allison, and my 8-year-old is named Janessa.
Do they go to Springford?
No, they do not go to Springford. They go to Boyertown School District, which is New Hanover Elementary School.
What high school did you graduate from?
I graduated from Boyertown High School.
Where did you attend college?
I attended at Penn State Berks campus in Reading. I commuted there. Now I heard they have dorms, but they didn't when I went there.
Explain your role here with us at Springford.
I'm hoping to make an important impact on a teen's life. I work with support right now, and if I can just have an ear that they can listen to, or if I can help them in any way, that's why I'm here. I hope I can help them out.
Is this the same line of work you did at your old job, and where was that at?
I worked at Earl Elementary School, which is part of the Boyertown School District, and I worked with a support team there. I did the same thing, only here is just working with older children, and I'm looking forward to it.
What brought you here to Springford?
Basically, the challenge. I have 2 girls of my own that are becoming teenagers, and I wanted to experience what it's all like here at the high school.
When you were a little kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
The earliest memory of what I wanted to be when I grew up was a mother because my mom was always home with us.
Were you inspired by someone throughout your school years?
I was inspired by my 10th grade geometry teacher because geometry I always struggled with and she taught it in a way I could understand it.
What is your advice for any college-bound student?
My advice for any college-bound student would be to pay attention in high school.
If you had all the necessary survival items, what other 3 things would you bring if you were stranded on a desert island?
If I were stranded on a desert island and already had my necessities, the 3 things I would want the most would be a TV, a radio, and my nephews and niece.
What student will you miss the most when they graduate this year?
The student I will miss the most when they graduate this year is Steph P.
Where did you go to college and what was your major?
I went to Ursinus College, just around the corner, where I majored in biology.
What did you do after college?
After college, I worked at Ursinus in their Residence Life program, and I helped to coordinate programs for the students that were there. I also worked at GlaxoSmithKline, where I worked in pharmaceutical research.
What do you hope to accomplish as a teacher?
I hope to show my students that science isn't just something within the classroom, that it is something that really does affect their everyday lives.
What is your favorite part of teaching?
My favorite part of teaching is being able to share my passion and knowledge for science with my Springford students.
What hobbies do you enjoy outside of school?
I like to travel. Been to England, Ireland, Scotland, France, Germany, Belgium, and Switzerland.
Thanks for your time, and I hope you enjoy teaching at Springford.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Arcadia University.
What's your major?
I was a fine arts major there. And I also went to Cabrini College for a Master's of Education.
What's your best memory from school?
We took a field trip to New York City, and we just got let loose in Chelsea and went to all the little art galleries and the meat packaging plants and everywhere. It was really fun.
What influenced you to be an art teacher?
Another art teacher. I had an art teacher who said that talent was overrated and perseverance was where it was at, and I really believe that anyone can be an artist if they choose to be. It just takes hard work.
What's your favorite kind of art?
I like functional art that like jewelry that you can wear, and I like ceramics pieces that you can use, like teapots and coffee mugs, that kind of thing.
What do you do in your spare time?
I have a little white dog named Salvador Dali that we call Dolly for short, and I play with her, and then I take lots of art classes and do lots of artwork. I have a metal studio at my house, so I make a lot of jewelry pieces.
What do you think of Springford?
I love Springford. The students here are super nice. everyone's been so nice to me, and they're really hardworking students and talented, a big talented group of kids.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.